Hey folks, Alan Mandic here. So yesterday I made a boo-boo. I dropped my Adamas Ninja Inferno, my favorite piece of camera gear. I dropped it. It landed on a jack, hit the screen, and it's cracked, it's broken, and it's out of commission at the moment. In fact, when you actually hook this thing up and try to use it right now, the crack is right next to the record button. So as you try to press record, it won't press. This was a big mistake on my part, and unfortunately, I need to get this fixed because this is a piece of equipment that has become integral to my workflow since I picked it up. I adore being able to record ProRes. It edits so much easier and nicer than standard H.264 footage. I love being able to pull focus with this 7-inch monitor. It is so much better to get a crisp, nailed focus with this thing. And my exposure, being able to expose and use the waveform on this thing, I like it a lot better than the little screen on the GH5. All that said, I was looking online trying to find information about this thing, about getting it fixed. Some folks on Reddit commented on a thread that I posted, and it seems like it's gonna cost me about $300 from Adamas to get this thing fixed, which is more than I really want to spend right now. I paid $599 for this thing altogether, so $300 to get this thing fixed up, it's half the price of the entire unit. That's a little hard to swallow right now. Now, you probably already know something that I don't, and that is whether or not I can fix this thing, because if this video is titled How I Fixed My Ninja Inferno, well then, you can assume that I fixed it. If it's titled something like What's Inside of a Ninja Inferno, then I couldn't fix it. Hopefully I find some generic touchscreen inside of here that I can order and repair this thing for cheaper than $295. We shall find out. Let's dive in. Now I actually just picked up an electronics toolkit that I'm gonna use to help me take this thing apart off of Amazon. It was a pretty darn good deal, and so far I'm fairly impressed with it. It's not the highest quality thing in the world, but honestly, it's gonna meet my needs for tearing stuff like this apart. I picked it up for actually using on another video. I was trying to repair a piece of camera gear that just didn't work out. A V-mount battery doesn't want to charge anymore. So let's dive right into this one. I got 4 screws at all 4 corners of this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out of here now that I got the actual screw plate ones that hold the 2 halves together out. It looks like this plate that covers up the battery terminal connections and the SSD connection needs to come off of here. I assume I just have to pry it. I can't quite tell. There's no screws on it. Bam, that's off. I do have a screen protector on here, a matte screen protector, which clearly did so much. I'm gonna get that off there and see how much carnage is underneath this thing. Now you can see a little more of that damage underneath the screen protector. There's definitely chunks out of this glass. Hey, looks like it's coming apart okay. That's a good sign. Good start, good start. I need to remove the nut from around the DC input on this thing. This is holding the 2 halves together, and that seems to be the only thing holding me up at this point. Need a 3/8 inch socket and ratchet or a 3/8 inch nut driver to get this off of here. Inside the back cover of the Ninja Inferno, where the SSD mount and the battery mounts are, is actually this pretty ingenious use of a SATA connection. So they've got a SATA hard drive connector here, the power transmitting the power to the unit, and the data connection connecting the SSD to the actual unit. And that also has a little PCB custom made here that powers the fan for inside here. This is a pretty ingenious little setup they got going in here. Now we're getting down to the actual heart of the unit itself. We have the really nice heat pipe heatsink setup they got going here. The heat pipe hot copper plate on the actual processing unit, whatever you want to call it, CPU, is thermal epoxied to this heat pipe. So I couldn't change out the thermal paste if I wanted to. I had thought maybe I would do that, but that's not going to happen. I've got the one connection over here for the mic input. I've got a ribbon cable on this side and another ribbon cable on this side for, I'm assuming, for the actual display itself. We will find out in a moment. Now I've got 4 small P1 size screws around this thing that seem to be what's holding it to the front housing. But then I also have these slightly larger ones for the actual heatsink and then the hold down for the CPU heat pipe contact plate. there's the PCB free of the main unit. So I got this thing torn down. There's actually a part number on here, as I was hoping for, and it does look like I probably could get this screen. The bigger issue is that it seems like the screen is attached, glued underneath of the glass. And unfortunately, the glass seems to be pretty proprietary. I don't see how I'm gonna be able to get this from anywhere but from Atomos. They won't sell me the parts almost certainly, so I'm gonna have to send this to them to have them fix it. I'm gonna throw a little bit B-roll here, show you folks a little more of the internals, take a look at it, and try to make something fun out of this video. So at the end of the day, this turned into a what's inside the Atomos Ninja Inferno video and not a fixing it video. I'm gonna put it back together and send it off to get it fixed. So unfortunately, it looks like this video is not going to turn out the way I hoped it would. I'm gonna have to put this thing back together and send it into Atomos to get it fixed. Darn. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that, put this thing together, and I'm not gonna show you that portion of this video, folks. That's gonna wrap it up for this one, folks. I hoped I would be able to fix this thing, but it's not gonna happen in this video. Go ahead and drop the video a like if you found it interesting. Let me know in the comments down below. Was this disappointing to you? Were you interested in seeing what's inside of this thing? And get subscribed for the random camera, computer, and video content that I produce on this channel randomly at sporadic intervals. Thanks for coming around.